Hello, everybody. Welcome to Off the Cuff live stream. We'll be getting started in 6 minutes, 4 o'clock. Hey, Wade, what's going on? Hey, Sharon. Good to see you guys. Wade, is it raining in Moorhead? Because it is pouring the rain here. Hey, Alexis. Happy Thursday. My favorite day of the week. And that was even before I was on the radio on Thursdays. I always just like Thursdays. There's not a lot of pressure. Hey, Joe, what's going on? There is just something about Thursdays that I like. I really can't explain it. I think it's just like one of those chill days. It's not hump day. It's not the first day of the week. It's not the weekend, so you don't have a lot of pressure. So I just love Thursdays. I think it's a good day of the week. All right. So it is really coming down. That's right, Joe. Which I do love the weekend. I definitely love the weekend. I used to feel all this pressure to have weekend plans, but the older I got, that disappeared. There is nothing like having a weekend of nothing to do. Like, I love not having no plans on the weekend. Alexis, I grew up hearing Thursday called Little Friday on the news every morning. That's funny. Thursday kind of, I don't know, I feel like everybody's in a better mood on Thursday, especially Thursday evening, like right around this time, because tomorrow is Friday. I like how we're just having a whole conversation. Everybody is on Thursday. It's a good question though. Like, what is everybody's like favorite day of the week? I would say most people would say Thursday, or I'm sorry, most people would say Friday, then Saturday. Then after that, probably Sunday for a lot of people. Nobody likes Monday. Nobody. I remember when they were trying to put me on the air and they were trying to find me a time slot. Monday was an option. And I was like, nah, Monday is just not going to work. People are just too... I don't know how to describe it. People are just in a mood on Mondays. All right, let's do this.
I'm Jay McCoy, co-host of Kentucky Writers Roundtable, and you're listening to Media Lex Radio, WLXU 93.9 LPFM, Lexington, Kentucky.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of Lexington Community Radio or its board of directors. The views expressed are solely those of the programmers.
You are listening to Off the Cuff. Now, here's your host, Adam Banks.
Welcome everybody to Off the Cuff. I am Adam Banks coming at you live from Lexington, Kentucky. Thank you for listening to the show and thank you for tuning in to WLXU 93.9 FM. In addition to listening on the radio, you can check out our Facebook live stream at Off the Cuff with Adam Banks, or you could stream the show live from the station website at MediaLex.us to listen to us from anywhere in the entire world. I am broadcasting from the WLXU studios here at Radio Lex on North Limestone. It is February the 19th, 2026. The rain is absolutely pouring. You will probably hear it in the background. It just adds for another little flavor for live radio, but it is really beating down out there. I'm just glad that I made it into the studio at the right time before it hit me. But folks, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for listening. I want to start off the show giving some love to my fellow men out there. Don't get me wrong, I love women, obviously. But I want to just give some love out to the men out there in the world, because I feel like that so many men around the world are underappreciated. I feel like that a lot of the times people don't appreciate men like they should. Men are such a valuable part to this society. Without men in this world, really, you got to think, where would the world be without men? Now, I'm not taking anything away from you ladies out there listening. Women make the world go around too. Without women, there would be no childbirth, right? I was brought into this world by a woman, and the nurturing that you get from a woman is par none, man. You cannot beat the nurturing and the touch of a woman. But I do want to give some love out to the fellow men out there, because like I said, I feel like so many men out there in the world don't get appreciated like they do. And I ran across a clip, and this is what made me start thinking about it. I was just browsing the internet, and I seen an old clip from the Sally Jessy Raphael show, and she had Cher on the show, and Sally Jessy Raphael asked Cher a question. She said, "Do you think men are important?" And take a listen at Cher's answer.
Do you think men are important? Like for what?
She asked, "Do you think men are important?" And she replied back, "For what?" And it just really drove me crazy when she said that. Again, men getting underappreciated. Men are so important to society. They play many important and diverse roles in society, just as women and others do. But men definitely do. I mean, think about what all men do physically for demanding jobs. Men are statistically overrepresented in many high-risk, physically intensive jobs. And without those jobs being done, think about where we would be. You have construction workers that build homes, schools, hospitals, bridges, roads. We have coal miners, agricultural laborers, fishermen, oil rig workers, factory and industrial workers, truck drivers that transport our food, that transport our fuel and products across long distances. Now, I'm not saying that women don't do these jobs, but statistically, these are male-driven jobs. More men do these jobs than women. You have dock workers and warehouse laborers. You have utility workers, the people who repair our utility lines. My heat has been out for the last 2 weeks, and I had to have somebody come and look at it. Lo and behold, it was a man that come and looked at it, and he fixed me up really quick. It was a loose wire on my furnace. He was able to identify it pretty quickly and fix it up. There are sanitation workers. There is forestry workers and loggers that manage our timber and forest resources. There's the military combat roles that men do, which is physically demanding and a very high-risk job. You've got firefighters and police officers. They perform physical, intense rescues in emergencies. So these jobs that statistically are dominated by men are very long in hours. They have extreme exposure to harsh weather. They're high injury or fatality risk. And they have a significant physical strain on their body. Hard labor keeps our infrastructure running. It keeps food on our tables. It keeps our homes built and our energy flowing. It's a critical backbone of modern society. So for Cher to get online and when I asked the question, do you think men are important? And she said, for what? Are you kidding me? Now, not only do men provide just hard labor jobs, we got to think about this. They're fathers, and they're father figures to a lot of people that provide love and guidance and discipline and emotional support. I was talking at the top of the show about how a great mother is so nurturing. Well, father figures play an important role in the home too. They provide love and guidance and discipline. Think about broken homes without a dad. You can definitely tell a difference. They make great partners and spouses for people. They share responsibilities with their wife to help their wives manage the household. They're educators and mentors. Think about teaching. Teaching is one of those jobs that is female dominated. So when a male enters that world, it is very important for those young kids to have role models. They are coaches and they are mentors to these young boys that don't have anybody, maybe even at home. They're entrepreneurs. So many men out there start businesses and create jobs for people in this society. They are a ton of men that volunteer out there, like I said, coaching sports, but they also help charities and they serve their communities. Think about the artists out there in pop culture that are provided by men. Music, film, literature, all of that. What would movies and music be without the impact of what men have done for society? Athletes and coaches. A lot of our entertainment in America is sports, and it's dominated by men. You know, when you watch a basketball game, you watch a football game, you are getting hours of entertainment by men putting their body on the line just to entertain you. Now, they're paid well for it, but they still do it, folks. And then you got the spiritual and the religious leaders that pastor churches and that counsel families and kids and adults and preach the Word of God every single Sunday. So I just wanted to get off on a little binge there about why I feel like men are so important to society. And if you are a man out there and you are feeling underappreciated, just know that Adam Banks appreciates you. Adam Banks appreciates you, and men are so, so important to this society. And where would we be without men in society? So for people to say the world would be better off without men, that is the stupidest thing I have ever heard. But folks, we have a great show ahead of you today. You are listening to Off the Cuff with Adam Banks. Stick with us. We will be right back.
Listening to Media Lex Radio, WLXU 93.9 LPFM, Lexington, Kentucky.
Media Lex thanks International Quiz Bowl tournaments for being an amplifier of the voice of the people. IQBTNASAT.com.
At Radio Lex, we want to keep our community safe.
Per the ACLU, if the police or ICE are at your home, stay calm and keep the door closed. Opening the door does not give them permission to come inside, but it is safer to speak to ICE through the door.
You have the right to remain silent even if the officer has a warrant.
You do not have to let police or immigration agents into your home unless they have certain kinds of warrants.
If police have an arrest warrant, they are legally allowed to enter the home of the person on the warrant if they believe that person is inside. But a warrant of removal/deportation form I-205 does not allow officers to enter a home without consent.
Radio Lex is committed to providing trustworthy information to our community.
For more information, visit radiolex.us or aclu.org. Media Lex is grateful to Founder Circle members Tim and Rowena Mallock for their generous investment in our mission, a level of exceptional giving that reflects the spirit of our founder and community champion, Deborah Hensley.
Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Cuff. Adam Banks here with you. We are just a few weeks away from the Lexington Music Awards taking place on March the 8th. Yours truly has been nominated for Best Music Company at the Lexies this year. Off the Cuff with Adam Banks. I love award season. I love award shows. And the big granddaddy of them all, the Academy Awards, is just a little less than a month away. March 15th. As a matter of fact. And, you know, last year when I won the Lexie for Best Music Company, I did not prepare a speech because I feel like that I just do better off the cuff. Surprise, surprise. But I feel like when you have something prepared, it's harder to get up and speak because if you trip over your words, you're just trying to think about what your script says. So if you get up there without preparation, trust me, it's going to go a lot smoother. At least it works that way for me. But I do like to check out different award speeches just to see what other people say during their award speeches. And it made me go down this rabbit hole since the Academy Awards is coming up of Oscar speeches. And there were a lot of great Oscar speeches out there. And I've talked about on this show before some of the best award speeches ever given. But a lot of great quotes came from Oscar speeches. Just one-liners. Not the entire speech themselves, just one-liners that were very memorable and that still are talked about today. They're used in pop culture. They're used in movies and television. People play these 5-10 second clips of just these quotes, not the entire speech. So what I have done here is I have compiled a list of some of the best quotes that came from Oscar speeches. And some of these you probably have heard before. If not, you're in for a treat. But I feel like that these particular quotes that came from Oscar speeches are very memorable. And these are ingrained in our culture, some of them. So the first one that I want to start with is from 1985. It come from Sally Field. You know Sally Field. She is the mom and from Mrs. Doubtfire. A great actress. She's like a 2-3-time Academy Award winner. Took the Oscar home many times. But the first time that she ever won an Oscar in 1985, she said something that is ingrained in pop culture. This is one of those examples where this is used in many movies and television. Take a listen. She said, you like me, you really like me. Now, a lot of people misquote that. They always say, you like me, you really like me. But she said, I can't deny the fact that you like me right now. You like me. And a lot of people, like I remember watching The Mask with Jim Carrey, and he was acting like he won an award. And he grabbed his award and he said, you like me, you really like me. That come from an Oscar speech. So it made for a great quote. Now, this next one here isn't necessarily a quote. Well, it is a quote. But Joe Pesci got up to receive his Oscar back in 1991 for his awesome portrayal in Goodfellas. And his entire speech was 10 seconds long. Maybe not even that long. So you can consider this a quote, or you can consider this an entire speech. Now, what I love about this is he is short, sweet, and to the point, which is how all award show speeches should really be.
Well, it's my privilege, thank you.
That's all he said. He said, it was my privilege, thank you very much. Or he just said, it's my privilege, thank you. And then he sat down. I mean, some people wait their entire life to win an Oscar, and they want to really hone in on that moment and take as much time as they can on the stage to speak. I mean, a lot of people have to get ran off from speaking and giving their speech, but Joe Pesci, a man of few words, gets up and says, hey, it was my pleasure. And I thought that was awesome, and it still stands the test of time as one of the great moments of Oscar history. Now, this next one is from Robin Williams back in 1997 when he won his one and only Oscar. And it wasn't for Mrs. Doubtfire, it was for Good Will Hunting. He wasn't even nominated for Mrs. Doubtfire, which is a travesty for the Academy never to nominate him. But what I like about this one is he basically just thanked his dad. But what he said after he thanked his dad was pretty funny. Take a listen.
My soul on fire every morning. God bless you. And most of all, I wanna thank my father up there, the man who, when I said I wanted to be an actor, he said, wonderful, just have a backup profession like welding.
I mean, his dad wanted him to have a backup plan for acting because he really, deep down in his heart, didn't think he could make it. And that just kind of was a little jab at his dad. I mean, maybe a little bit of a jab at his dad, but I thought it was pretty cool. Now, this next one is from Hilary Swank back in 2004 when she won the Oscar, her second Oscar for Best Actress in a Movie for $1 Million Baby, an incredible movie where she played a female boxer. And a lot of people, when they get up and the first thing that comes out of their mouth is something really profound. And I feel like that this first thing that she said when she won her Oscar was really profound because she was just a girl that grew up very poor, that grew up in a place where nobody grows up to be an actor, nobody grows up to be a star, and nobody definitely grows up to win an Oscar. So this was a very attention-getting opener when she won her speech for Best Actress. Take a listen.
Deserve all this. I'm just a girl from a trailer park who had a dream. I never thought this would ever happen, let alone...
I love that. I love that. I'm just a girl from a trailer park who had a dream. And she never thought it would happen, let alone win an Oscar. A great moment. Now, this next one isn't necessarily a I wouldn't call it a quote. I wouldn't even call it a speech, but it was a great moment during her speech. It was Julia Roberts when she won Best Actress for Erin Brockovich back in 2000. And all she did was let out a big laugh because she was so nervous and she was so excited. She didn't know what else to do but laugh. Take a listen.
So I thank you for really making me feel so...
Only Julia Roberts could do that. Only Julia Roberts has the laugh and the personality and the smile to pull that off and for everybody to cheer just by laughing. I mean, if I went up there and just let out a big old laugh, people would look at me like I had 3 heads. Now this next one, and this one, I'm going a little bit away from the Oscars because this technically wasn't from the Oscars, but I had to throw it in there. And since we're talking about Julia Roberts, this is another quote from an award speech that I find awesome. And it's just so humanizing when you hear her say this. This was from the 1998 People's Choice Awards. And the thing about that award show is it's not just movie stars that go to that award show. It's people from television as well. And the cast of Days of Our Lives was there. And Julia Roberts grew up watching Days of Our Lives, so she couldn't get on stage without mentioning the cast of Days of Our Lives. And I felt like that just humanized her so much, because who hasn't watched a soap opera, at least an episode or 2 of a soap opera? If you grew up in the last 50 years, you've at least seen a scene from a soap opera. If you had a grandma of any kind, you watched a soap opera. And chances are it was Days of Our Lives. And Julia Roberts just shows that she's no different from any of us. Take a listen to when she fangirled out. I mean, this is the biggest celebrity on the planet at the time. And she is geeking, fangirling out over the cast of Days of Our Lives. Take a listen.
I'm very nervous because the cast of Days of Our Lives is here.
I mean, I would have said the same thing. I mean, if the cast of Days of Our Lives was in the audience, I mean, my God, I would have to go up and talk to Bo and Hope and Marlena and just talk about some of their experiences that they had on that show. Okay, Jack Lemmon is up next on my list. This is one of the best quotes that came from an Oscar speech, and I just love it because he had been nominated many, many times for an Oscar, and for like 20 years, he'd never won one. And he finally won one in 1974 and said this.
Well, I tell you, I had a speech prepared in 1959. I've forgotten it.
He basically was saying, I had a speech prepared 30 years ago, but I forgot what it was. I mean, I don't want to say we all, because I don't do this, but a lot of people do have speeches prepared at award shows, and they think that they might win. On the off chance that they win, they prepare a speech. Nothing wrong with it. That's just not my style. I feel like I get more nervous when I'm prepared. So Jack Lemmon had his speech prepared, never got to give it. And then 30 years later, he finally wins, and he's like, hey, I had a speech prepared, but I forgot it. And I thought that was pretty funny. Okay, and the last one that I'm going to put on the list is from Meryl Streep. She has won 3 Oscars. She's been nominated for like 20 Oscars, more than any other actress on the planet. And she's won 3 of them. And she couldn't get up there after winning the 3rd Oscar and after like her 25th nomination without saying this. I love that. And the thing about award speeches is you never know what you're going to get from somebody. I hate it when people take the stage to make a political statement. Keep it lighthearted, keep it fun. You know, talk about your journey. And sometimes what comes out of that is spectacular. Just, I think, when people are being real, when people are being themselves and humanizing themselves, that's what makes for a great Oscar speech. And you have a chance to catch the Oscars on March the 15th. There'll be a whole plethora of new speeches coming up. But before that, folks, you've got the Lexington Music Awards on March 8th. A lot of award speeches will be given out. Hopefully, yours truly will be giving a speech as well. All right, folks, we're going to take another quick break. Stick with us. You are listening to Off the Cuff with Adam Banks. We'll be right back.
We're listening to Media Lex Radio, WLXU 93.9 LPFM, Lexington, Kentucky.
MediaLex is grateful to Founder Circle member Tracy Whitley for their generous investment in our mission, a level of exceptional giving that reflects the spirit of our founder and community champion, Deborah Hensley.
You are tuned in live and direct to Joey Truax. It's the best part, Hip Hop 101. WLXU 93.9 FM, you know what I'm saying? The album is dropped, King Tut. My man Divine Karama. Peace to the gods, peace to the righteous culture. This next joint we sending it out to the babies. It's for the culture. It's fun. Keep it locked. Thanks.
At Radio Lex, we want to keep our community safe.
Per the ACLU, if the police or ICE are at your home, stay calm and keep the door closed. Opening the door does not give them permission to come inside, but it is safer to speak to ICE through the door.
You have the right to remain silent even if the officer has a warrant.
You do not have to let police or immigration agents into your home unless they have certain kinds of warrants.
If police have an arrest warrant, they are legally allowed to enter the home of the person on the warrant if they believe that person is inside. But a warrant of removal/deportation form I-205 does not allow officers to enter a home without consent.
Radio Lex is committed to providing trustworthy information to our community.
For more information, visit radiolex.us or aclu.org.
MediaLex has the support of community partner Bluegrass Care Navigators. bgcarenav.org.
Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Cuff. Adam Banks here with you. Those who grew up in the mid-2000s remember this theme from MTV The Hills. I bring it up, folks, because a very famous cast member, a reality star from MTV The Hills, the villain from The Hills, Spencer Pratt, has announced that he is running for mayor of Los Angeles, and it is not a joke. He announced his bid on January the 7th, and that was the one-year anniversary of the devastating 2025 wildfires that destroyed his home in the Pacific Palisades. Now, Spencer Pratt lived in LA. He's from LA. He's lived there his entire life, but he lost his home just like a lot of people in California on that fateful day. And Spencer was very frustrated with the way the current mayor of LA handled the business, Karen Bass, how she responded to the wildfires and other crises. He was not pleased at all. He has criticized her tremendously for how she handled rebuilding and getting insurance money and helping people restore their homes. He says he wants to audit city services, improve disaster readiness, and hold officials accountable for perceived management. Now, when I heard that Spencer Pratt was running for mayor, of course I was like, is this a joke? Because this sounds like something he would do just for publicity. But the passion that he has when he talks about running for mayor, I think he might have a chance. I think people are not going to look at Spencer Pratt, the reality star. People are not going to look at him as this being a publicity stunt or a joke, because he can relate so well with the people in LA that lost their homes. He was one of them. And when you are one of them, that says a lot. When you can be relatable to the people that you're running with, that says a lot. The last thing people want to do is elect a mayor that seems to be privileged, that seems to get things before their own citizens get them. For instance, Mayor Linda Gordon here in Lexington got a lot of heat, got a lot of flack when we had this big snowstorm in Lexington and my street was like 3 weeks without getting paved because it wasn't considered an emergency street, but neither was hers, and her street was allegedly paved. I mean, it looked like it was paved. There was snow piled up on her house that only a dozer could do. And when pictures started circling on Facebook of her very clean street, after all these other citizens are having to slide into other cars, slide into homes, trying to escape the street, that really irritated a lot of people. So Spencer Pratt has that going for him. He can be very relatable to his fellow citizens. But we can't just forget who Spencer Pratt was. I mean, he was the absolute villain on MTV's The Hills. He was the bad guy. Now, a lot of people said that The Hills was scripted. That may be. That may be. But it doesn't change the fact that Spencer Pratt really was an a-hole on that show. To everybody. His mom, his sister, his friends. I mean, Spencer Pratt really stuck it to everybody. That's why it's hard for people just to forget who he is. Yes, he's running for mayor. Yes, he was only 21 years old when he was filming The Hills. But folks, Spencer Pratt was something else. He was hateful. He was mean. He was rude. He was condescending. He was an absolute jerk. But he was so funny and entertaining. Without him, there would have been no second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth season of The Hills. He kept that show on the air because he was so daggone mean. Every show needs a villain. So a lot of people may have heard of Spencer Pratt now because he is making headlines running for mayor. But a lot of people don't really know who he used to be. So I'm here to remind you of who he was back in the day. And when you sit back and think about it, it's hard to believe that this same guy is running for mayor of Los Angeles. So I have compiled some clips here of some of Spencer Pratt's worst moments when he was a reality television star. So let's take a listen at some of his worst moments. Now, this one right here is when he is talking to his sister-in-law, who he cannot stand because she has been staying at his house. She's overstayed her welcome, and he does not like her at all. And he finally had a boiling point to where he went off on her. Take a listen.
For me, that was the best. Like, I was proud of myself for not doing what I wanted to do to you, because what I wanted to do and say to you, dear, I didn't, because I was praying like I do every day to not say the things that I want to say to you, to your mom. No, I'm not. That's why, you see how I'm not saying them? Yeah. I'm very proud of myself.
It's like your head's about to explode.
So, I'm sorry if I disrespected you, but I'm very emotional these days. Very. So, I say things that I feel.
I was the one that wanted to kill anybody that would ever talk like that about my sister, and I still would. But that goes for my mom too, and as a family, that's how we all should be.
I didn't say anything negative about your mom. Your mom is just the vagina that made Heidi come on earth. Your mom is not Jesus or God or the Creator. So why can't I say that? Why can't I say that? No, it's not. It's my opinion. It's my opinion. Go take your... Hey, preacher. This is Bible study. This is earth. No one's preaching. No one's preaching here. This is life.
All take a breath.
You're not her sister. You're not her friend. You're a liar. And I'm going to walk away from these lies, but she's going to sit here and keep lying to you. You're the biggest poser in this town. You know it. You've been...
Stop.
man. That was one of Spencer Pratt's worst moments, but it was one of the most entertaining moments that he had. Seriously, I thought that was hilarious. He hated his sister-in-law, and when they finally had words, I mean, it made for a really entertaining scene. Now, this guy is running for mayor of Los Angeles. Take a listen at another clip. This is where he is talking to his actual sister, where she is confronting him about hurting her feelings, and he pretty much says that she made herself cry. Take a listen.
I feel like since Laura and I are friends, I can make her friends again. I just cannot believe you want to keep this fight going. There's no fight. Everyone gets it, Spencer. You need to stop having enemies, Spencer. She's forgotten this. She's forgiven Heidi. I've forgotten you. No, you haven't, because you're making me cry right now.
You're making yourself cry about what you did. So I'm sorry that you're making yourself cry.
Okay, here's another one where he is arguing with his girlfriend at the time, who ended up becoming his wife, but he wanted her to move in with him, and his girlfriend wasn't ready for that, so he kicked her out of the car.
Relax for a minute. I don't know what you want me to do.
You do that.
Okay, you want me to move in, but like, what about the repercussions for the rest of my life?
What?
Oh, for my friends, for work.
It's one person. You keep on trying to pretend. How's it going to affect your work? How's it
Okay,
going to...
but why now? Why can't you wait? I don't understand.
I've been waiting. We've been talking about this for over a month. Over a month now. We've been going back and forth.
Is this like your way out? You want to be single? You want to run around with all these girls? Like, just tell me.
Heidi,
Don't blame it on like a movie and think yes.
I wanted to go around with all these girls. Do you think trying to get you to move in is what I'd be doing? Does that sound like it makes sense to you?
No.
It does. Because it doesn't really make sense to me. No, it doesn't.
All right. Well, my answer is no.
Sweet. My answer is get out of my car.
And she gets out of the car. He kicks her out of the car because she don't want to move in with him. I mean, he's a jerk, an absolute jerk. All right, here's another one. This is also him and his sister getting into an argument. Him and his sister hadn't spoken in months, and they seen each other at a party, and his sister goes up to talk to him, and it doesn't go over well.
Excellent. How are you?
What are you crying about, Stephanie? What are you crying about? That's why you're not in my life, you crazy bitch. You go to the barbecues and just start crying.
I was just enjoying myself with my wife, and I get crying sisters in front of me?
She just wanted to say hi.
But that gets her crying away. What the do I need to do to you?
Man, I mean, that's his sister, for crying out loud. That's what kind of jerk that he is.
I know it's your brother, but he's off his rocker. I don't know what's wrong with him.
Here I'm talking about my little sister, who's not relevant to my life.
All right, we got one more clip here, and this is when Spencer is talking to his best friend, and he basically, well, let's see, do I want to play this one right here, or is the language just too bad? Yeah, the language might be too bad for this one, but I was trying to find edited parts. But folks, that guy right there is running for mayor of Los Angeles. The guy that everybody thought was off his rocker is now running for political office. But sometimes you have to take a step back and realize that people do grow up. He's not the same 21-year-old anymore. He is now 40. I'm sure he has matured and he has evolved throughout time. And go and listen to some of his speeches. He is very passionate, and he really wants to get Karen Bass out of office. And he is trying to be the mayor to help the citizens of Los Angeles get their homes back. He's wanting to file the proper paperwork. He's wanting to make sure that the funding is going to them and everybody can restore the home that they lost. Folks, it seems like a great time to take Off the Cuff's Song of the Week break. So let's listen to a new song by Mr. Bruno Mars with his song, Just Might. We'll be back after it's over. Oh. Michael Jordan is not getting the publicity that he usually gets. He's usually always in the limelight, being praised for his incredible ability to play basketball. But folks, there is this viral video going around of Michael Jordan that I'm sure everybody has seen at this point. There is a video of Michael Jordan touching a boy at the Daytona 500. And I have a lot to say about this clip because I think so many people, I mean, first of all, the clip was very weird. And I don't think that anybody should just touch kids, period. I don't think that you should hug kids, touch kids, give even kids a handshake or a five. Just don't touch kids, period. I don't think it's just right. Unless it's your own child, you shouldn't touch kids. That's just the way I feel about it, period. I don't touch any kid giving them a pat on the back. I just don't like touching kids at all. So the fact that Michael Jordan was touching this kid the way it appeared to be in this video was very, very strange. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, there's this video of Michael Jordan at the Daytona 500. And his buddy just won the race. And his son, the driver's son, was there. And there is a video going around of what it appears to be Michael Jordan touching the kid's butt. Not just touching the kid's butt, but squeezing his butt. And then he goes down and rubs his leg. Now, there is not a lot of context with the 10-second clip. A lot of people said that the kid had ice poured down his shirt earlier in the day, and Michael was just getting the ice out. So this clip just rubbed everybody the wrong way, and people blew up over it. Now, with that being said, I will say this. The father has made a statement, the NASCAR driver who won the race. He went out to say that Michael has been a part of their family for years, and his son has known Michael for pretty much his entire life, and they have a really good relationship. And his own dad said that there was nothing inappropriate that Michael was doing in the clip. So if the man's father is out there saying that there was nothing inappropriate, then we have to take that into consideration. He knows the situation. He knows Michael. He knows what was really happening. Into question. We have to take that into consideration when we're looking at this clip. Does it make the clip appropriate? No. And I will never say the clip was appropriate or Michael Jordan touching the boy appropriate. But for us to all of the sudden want to crucify Michael for this video is a little extreme when we don't really know the full context. Looking at it as it is very odd and it's very strange. And I would just say, period, don't touch kids at all to avoid any of that. And it's just weird when people are always wanting to touch kids, hug kids, kiss kids. It's just strange. Like I said, I just don't believe in touching them at all. At all. So, but I hate it when we live in a society that you can do a million great things. One out of context clip can really just tear down your life, tear down your legacy, tear down your career. And that seems to be what may happen to Jordan. I know for a fact when you are going to now be arguing stats, Jordan versus Kobe, Jordan versus LeBron, there's always going to be somebody throw up that viral clip of Michael Jordan. Well, at least Michael Jordan, or at least Kobe, or at least LeBron's not a pedophile. Whoa now. Claiming somebody to be a pedophile is way outlandish, because I don't necessarily think that he is, and I don't think that's what he was trying to do. Now, I could be wrong. And as more comes out about this, I'm sure we'll be able to figure it out. And if he is, shame on him, and it's disgusting. He should be arrested. But just to so quickly point out that he is a pedophile is just kind of shows the society that we live in. People love to root for downfalls. People love to see people fall off their pedestals. One thing can bring anybody down. I think of Will Smith at the Oscars when he slapped Chris Rock. Will Smith spent his whole career talking about positivity and uplifting people. That one bad night, that one bad occasion is now all that anybody talks about. Kobe Bryant was accused of rape. And for years and years and years, and even still today, that's all people want to talk about besides his basketball career. They want to talk about his accusation of raping a girl, which he was found to be innocent for. He did not do that. But it seems like people attach themselves and cling to the bad things because they love when people fall. And that's just a sad society that we live in, folks. Any little thing can be taken out of context. We all have bad days. We all have bad moments. We all have bad situations. We always don't wake up on the right side of the bed. We might say something that we didn't really mean. We may say something that might be totally out of character. And if you do, you are screwed, because people will not let it go. A million things said right, a million things said appropriately. One bad thing could bring somebody down. I can think of countless examples of news anchors letting things slip, or an inappropriate thing that they say, and people don't want to even hear the explanation as of why it was said. They just cling to it, hold to it, and run with it. And it just kind of shows the society that we live in, that people love to root for downfalls. Now, my entire sentiment on this situation would change if it come to light that Michael Jordan was being inappropriate, because there is no room in this world for pedophilia, and there's no room for people like that to get away with stuff like that. It's gross. But the point that I'm trying to make is, folks, instead of just taking one bad thing and running with it, try to look for more context. People love to just harp on the bad things, and it just is a big reflection on the society that we live in. People love to root for downfall. So that's all I will say about that. But before we take another break, I just want to mention the very sad news. Most of you guys have already heard it. James Van Der Beek, best known for his starring role in Dawson's Creek, he passed away with stage 3 colorectal cancer. He was only 48 years old. And he was the star of Dawson's Creek. I never watched Dawson's Creek, never seen an episode, but I knew who he was. He was in other things like Varsity Blues and Angus. And he was a big time next door. He was kind of like the kid next door actor that everybody liked. I don't think I ever heard anybody say a bad thing about James Van Der Beek. But at 48 years old, he lost his battle to cancer. And what is scary about this, folks, is that he ended up having this cancer. And it has come to light that this cancer that he got, this colorectal cancer, or however you pronounce it, is very common and very easy to get. And it's very prominent in young people. And you can easily ignore the signs because you think it might just be your diet, like James did. He thought he was just naturally skinny, and he thought that he just wasn't able to put on weight. And he thought that his stomach was hurting because of the foods that he was eating, things that we deal with every day in life. But no, it was cancer. And the sad thing about it is if this cancer was caught early, it was totally preventable, totally curable, but he didn't catch it too early. And when he found out he got it, it had already spread, and it was too late. Now, he took to social media after he announced it to the world. He said this. He said, "It is cancer. Each year, approximately 2 billion people around the world receive this very diagnosis, and I am one of them." He continued. He said, "There's no playbook for how to announce these things, but I planned on talking about it in length with People magazine at some point soon, to raise awareness and tell my story on my own terms. But that plan had to be altered early this morning when I was informed that a tabloid was going to run with the news." And it's very sad because cancer treatments cost a lot of money. He apparently wasn't paid very well to do his show, Dawson's Creek, and he didn't have the money that people thought he did. So he had to start selling off his own personal belongings to the public. He had to even start a GoFundMe page just to get help funding the treatment. And after he funded the treatment, it still wasn't enough to save his life. And this cancer is now considered to be one of the deadliest type of cancers for certain group of Americans. And those certain group of Americans are young people, people that are 18 to 35 to 45 years old. And the symptoms are natural symptoms that we can experience just by a bad diet, or just having a headache. So make sure, folks, to keep an eye on your check at all times, or keep an eye on your health at all times. It's important to go to those yearly doctor's appointments. It's important to get that blood work done. I know it's annoying. I know it's frustrating. And waiting for blood results and waiting for test results is very hard to do. Well, we've all been there. I've been there. But it's so important to keep tabs on your health, because catching things can prevent things. Catching things early can prevent things from spreading. So if you are somebody out there that is pushing 40 years old, it's time to get a colonoscopy. It is. I know it's an uncomfortable conversation to have. It's maybe an uncomfortable procedure to have, but it's better to have that one uncomfortable procedure that lasts 10 minutes versus having to go through cancer treatment, and worse, having the cancer spread when it could have been prevented all along. It says here that during his cancer journey, the actor admitted he began to question if he was just too skinny, if he was just a weak guy, but he realized that it was cancer. before it was too late. So my thoughts and prayers go out to James's family. And folks, keep an eye on your health. We're going to take a quick break. We will be right back after these words.
MediaLex has the support of Visit Lex, sharing ways to experience Lexington, Kentucky this winter. 8 distilleries are located within a mile of downtown, and 11 more are within a 45-minute drive alongside craft breweries and cideries on the Brewgrass Trail. Cozy restaurants with warm fireplaces and creative dishes offer seasonal comfort throughout the city. Just outside downtown, guided horse farm tours provide a behind-the-scenes look at Kentucky's iconic horse country during foaling season. Information about events, attractions, and experiences in Lexington is available at visitlex.com and on social media at visitlex.
Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Cuff. Adam Banks here with you. Last segment of the hour. Gosh, I love Prince. This is Prince, right? Yes. Kiss. I mean, who can listen to Prince without tapping their foot or doing a dance? There was only one Prince. Folks, today's national holiday is Tug of War Day, which is a very popular game that a lot of people know how to play. A lot of people grew up playing tug of war. It used to be actually an Olympic game, but eventually the Olympics took it out. We love tug of war because it's a simple game to play. All you got to do is tug on a rope, and you're trying to pull your opponents. You hold on to one end of the rope, the other team holds on to the other end of the rope, and you pull the rope, and whoever pulls the team across the line wins the game. And really, it's good exercise. Tug of war can be a great way to build muscle and core strength. And it's just good exercise. So, if you've got some people around you this summer and you want to play a little tug of war, feel free to do that because it is a great, fun game to play. Great exercise, great workout, and heck, the weather is good right now. You can even go out and play it today. Happy Tug of War Day, everybody. All right, folks, that pretty much wraps up another episode of Off the Cuff with Adam Banks. If you liked what you heard today, you'll probably like our previous episodes. We archive them all on podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Apple, or wherever you get your podcast. You can follow the show on social media at Off the Cuff with Adam Banks. You can follow me, the show host, on social media at The Adam Banks. We release new episodes every Thursday from 4 to 5 right here on WLXU 93.9 FM, which means we will be back same time, same place. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the king of radio, Adam Banks, and this is Off the Cuff. I'll catch you down the road. See you guys.